This is the Kickback Off Air. Yo, it's Jazzy Black. I'm super excited to be kicking back with a real one in the studio. She's an influencer, an actress, a radio host, podcaster.
Baby, I'm a girl of many jobs.
Former veteran.
Yeah, period.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
It girl, Keita Rose in building. What's up, Keita?
Hi.
My Libra sister. We have this thing going on today.
I know it's kind of like we coordinating, like African queens.
Period.
Yeah.
Love that energy. Super excited for you. I know you've worn like so many hats. Looking back on like everything that has just happened, it's been a hell of a year for you, girl.
2025 got hands, and I'm not afraid to admit that I'm losing the fight a little bit. But
we a hell of a year for you. Without going down that rabbit hole, what are these experiences just brought you to like today?
I mean,
and where you at right now, mentally?
You know what?
Spiritually.
I'm glad you brought up spiritually. I think that whenever you go through something, especially if you go through any like trauma, you know what I mean, just hard times. Period. Listen, life is hard for everybody right now. I think it's easy to take it as like, maybe a punishment or like you went through an L, but really everything is a lesson. You just got to take it and learn from it, right? So I feel like I learned a lot, and there's no perfect person, but there's always like room for progression. So as long as we growing, as long as we elevating, I don't see the problem.
Everybody, it take a minute to get to that space, especially mentally, to where you're okay with like facing and acknowledging like who you are, your growth, these experiences that we go through. Everybody life be life.
Everybody's life is life, and nobody
just put it out there, Keita. Like that's crazy.
You know what's wild? So many people.
Takes a lot of courage.
It takes courage because so many people are like, "Why do you just put it all out there?" But my thing is, listen, I don't have nothing to hide. When you a genuine person, when you authentic, when you got good work ethic, when you know who you are as a person and you're proud of who you are as a person, you really can't step. Because I feel like you said, life is life for everybody. What makes you different from me? What do I have to hide?
Where did you get that strong sense of individuality and like that way of thinking from, and being like very vocal about it? Like, was that something that you saw like growing up in the house?
Well, I grew up with military parents. I'm a veteran, so they kind of encouraged me to join the Army, and then that's when I realized that I am an individual. You don't know you really an individual until you got to go somewhere where you got to conform, and your body and your spirit is like, nah, I can't do that. I can't be like everybody else. So that's when I figured out pretty quickly I'm an individual.
And you originally from Houston, right?
I'm from San Antonio.
Oh, you from San Antonio?
Yeah.
So you was in San Antonio then?
I mean, I'm an Army brat, so I hate that question for real. Like, where you from? I hop around as an Army brat. You never stay in too many places, for a long time. So I say I'm from Texas. I'm a Texas girl.
I know, that's right. That's got to be a lot to like be just picking up your life and then like moving around, and then like I'm pretty sure it's shaped like how you interact with people.
Yeah. I think it actually did me more of a service than a disservice, because I understand a lot of perspectives, and that's why I love podcasting. I love talking. I love being, on the radio when I was formerly on the radio, because I like hearing different perspectives. When you're in the military, you see how everybody lives, right? And so sometimes we only have our proximity. Well, if my cousins say this is how life's supposed to be, and my 3 friends say that this is how life's supposed to be, that's the only thing I can really go off of. But when you know everybody, different ethnicities, you know what I mean? It just gives you a different perspective on life. That's all.
We need people to get outside more.
Step outside. Talk to your neighbor, bro. I think 2020 really f***ed us up. I think 2020 really messed everything up for all of us, because we were isolated, we were stuck in the house, and then we kind of got that, I don't know, we kind of just kept on with that, right? Like, I just want to be by myself. Outside is dangerous. I don't really want to make no new friends. And it's like, you know what? You can step outside. You can talk to somebody. Everybody going through it. What's a compliment?
Right.
When's the last time you've been complimented? Just by a random stranger.
It's been a minute. If it's not like a guy that's like trying to hit on you, I feel like
a
black
crackhead,
women naturally, we would see each other walking down the street and be like, "Yes, queen." So if anybody gonna lift us up, it's gonna be us.
It's gonna be us for sure. Yeah, but that's what I make a point of. Like, go outside. That's why I've created Put It on the Table. It's this like dinner party podcast, because I want people to start stepping outside again.
Right.
Start getting outside again. Start talking to your neighbors. Start listening to different perspectives.
Yeah.
When you on social media, it's just that algorithm makes us feel like everybody thinks one way, or it sparks up like our anger. I just feel like sometimes scrolling lately has made me so angry, seeing the state of the world.
It's building anxiety for no reason.
Anxiety, depression,
you
anger.
Waking up letting other people decide how you want to be before you even get out the bed.
You know what
like,
I'm saying? So it's just very difficult. Like, I think everybody feels that, especially since, again, economy ain't doing so great. This administration is a little scary.
Right.
This administration is a little scary. And so you do need to realize that you have community. You do need to realize that your neighbor is lonely just like you are. And if we come back together and we really, set it off, I think it'll be a fun, like, little community event.
Facts. I want to jump into you balancing mental health, transparency, and hustling, because you be busy. What does your morning routine look like?
Oh, man.
And how are you starting your day and preparing yourself for the adventures that's coming?
Well, first of all, with somebody with a little bit of ADHD, a little, I'm neurospicy. So what I like to do is I like to wake up and I just scream. I start off with a very loud scream. Then I've got to have my coffee. My therapist told me to stay off of it, but listen, I need a cup a day, at least 2 cups a day. And then everything starts. Like you said, I'm somebody's mama, right? So I've got to make breakfast. I got to make sure he's off to school. Yeah. I got to make sure I'm answering emails. I got to make sure I'm answering text messages. I just be having to get it together. And the more I want to organize my life, the more disorganized my life is. So I go with the flow and I trust God. I give it to God.
Yeah.
I give all my days to God. And so, so good so far, right? So far, so good.
Nah, for real. I think, there's so many, mental pressures that I think we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
Even with just the demand that comes with being in an industry like this. And I don't think we be talking about it enough.
No, we don't.
Feeling like, not like you necessarily have to respond, but you kind of do. Not feeling like you have to go outside, but you know what I'm saying? We do. And just keeping like our social media up and things like that. So like, what does that look like for you? Just like on like a weekly basis when it comes to being like, these are where I set my boundaries.
I have to set my boundaries. If I set out a time to relax, if I set out a time to go get a massage, if I say it's just me time, if I'm trying to,
on it?
Yeah, I stand on it. I stand on it because mental health is important. I can't do anything if mentally I am down. You know what I'm saying? If mentally I'm cluttered in my mind, if I'm filled with anxiety. We talked about anxiety, depression. If I'm going through that, how can I show up as a mom? How can I show up as a host? How can I show up doing my job and doing what I like to do best and being a professional, yapper? How can I do that?
You be a professional yapper.
I'm a professional yapper. How can I do that if I'm stressed out and I'm going through it? I have got to care for myself.
Yeah.
I stopped that people pleasing stuff. I started worrying about what pleases me, what I desire, what goals I want to go after, and what makes me whole. Yeah. And I've been really realizing that, grounding myself, like going outside, touching grass for real. People say that like a joke, like, go outside and touch grass.
No, but literally.
Go outside and touch grass. Touch grass.
Yeah, let the sun hit your skin.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy that, like, you doing all of this, and then I feel like there's also like this sort of bit of social responsibility, I think, from your fans, from your followers, people that keep up with you, like on the podcast and stuff. Yeah. Do you take that as a responsibility to like show up and like?
I take it as a responsibility to be transparent to people. I'm transparent with all my whatever you want to call. I call them supporters, right? Because they don't have to be there. Yeah. So I'm transparent with all my supporters, and that's why I'm so open about mental health. People don't like it when I talk about depression. People don't like it when I talk about the S word. Yeah. People don't like it when I say these things, but you have to bring awareness to it. It's very important, right? And so I think sorry. I think it's really important to be transparent. So if you don't see me for a week, I tell everybody on my YouTube, people who follow me, on my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, I'm everywhere. Yeah. You see me everywhere. I tell them I'm having a mental health week and I'm going to unplug. Yeah. So I got to get off the internet sometimes. I got to get off the internet because it's so loud. It's everybody's opinions about everything. Listen, I gotta step outside. I gotta be present in the moment. Yeah. And my supporters, they've been there from the jump. Then they're gonna be there when I come back.
I know that's right. Yeah. And like, even with you being a mom, I feel like now you have and this is something that I just hear from like my friends and even from my own mama, right? Yeah. There's this maternal instinct of protection that comes into play. And how do you feel like that has just like changed the way that you interact with people, changed your messaging and,
Well, I definitely, after a lot has been exposed with this whole social media thing, with this whole, podcast battle and beef and everything like that. And I really take my son's privacy very seriously, and I really take the protection of my son very seriously, right? And so that's why I did what I did in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I'm a mother. I got somebody looking up to me. I got somebody that I need to protect and take care of. So his protection is going to be number one before anything. And that's why also too I care about my mental health. If I'm not right, I can't be a good mom to my son. Yeah. And that's my number one priority, you know, before all of this.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
So with you being somebody mama, what's dating like? You've always had like a no filter when it comes to like relationships. Dating culture, it's interesting in 2025.
People say it's terrible out there. Is it? I wouldn't know. I got a man.
I heard it was terrible. I heard that some people find it good luck. I feel like people, also not going to the right spaces.
I think what it really is knowing yourself. I think when you know yourself,
people be looking too hard. And I'm like,
you're searching for something.
Yeah,
remember how we talked about like spirituality earlier? Like I really got into spirituality after everything that happened, and I realized like when you live abundantly, things come to you. It's really like that law of attraction. You know what I'm saying? I'm not searching for anything. I'm not searching for my next path. I'm not searching for my next man. I became love. Love came to me. I cared about peace. Peace came to me. I started prioritizing myself and my purpose. Purpose came to me. So yeah, it's been good. Dating is not that bad. Now, if you go out here listening to crazy people, right, taking advice from crazy people, maybe your dating life will be hard.
And I think the way that also people consume, going down the rabbit hole and all these different like relationship podcasts and quote unquote experts or people that can't maintain relationships for more than 6 months. You got to be mindful of that type of stuff. And I remember having a conversation with Erykah Badu, and she was just saying, a lot of times you got to be in alignment to receive it.
You got to be in alignment to receive it. And what does alignment mean, right? Alignment means that you know yourself, you know what aligns with you. If something goes against who you are, your character, your morals, your alignment, it's not for you. I don't care how much money, I don't care how much you get in the perks, it's not for you. Align yourself with what works best for you, what speaks to your spirit. And that's hard being in this world, especially with social media. You get online and you see everybody living a highlight reel. You don't know what they're really going through. So don't compare yourself to that, because comparison is the thief of all joy, baby.
Come on, somebody.
All joy. Hello.
I'm excited to go and hear what you have to say at your birthday dinner podcast Turn Up Extravaganza celebration.
Yeah. I want to talk about that a little bit. This is the first time I've stepped out since the
Keita said it.
Yeah, the situation.
Yeah.
So this is named Put It on the Table, because we're gonna put it all on the table. I told you that I love different perspectives from different people, and I miss going outside. I miss community. I miss people coming out, dress good, look nice, smell nice.
Yeah.
Come eat amazing food. It's gonna be at Miami Vibes Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah. So October 19th at Miami Vibes. It's gonna be a big vibe, right? So come out to drink, eat good food, have good conversation.
What's you gonna be talking about, Keita?
Baby, we can talk about it all. What do you want to talk about? We can talk about relationship. We can talk about how, this economy is going. We can talk about how Black women need a little bit more protection. We could talk about what we could do as a community to, step things up. We could talk about the Diddy trial and all the baby oil situations. We can talk about whatever you need to talk about.
We need to talk about these congressional maps that's going on too, because people aren't bringing that up enough, and I think people are just kind of breezing by it. Texas just had a whole thing going on, our redistricting. It's now happening in Louisiana, and now the entire South, Black and brown communities are going to feel the heat of what's about to happen. I don't even think people realize that the Texas midterms are coming up in November.
It's coming up in November. That's very important. Please get out and vote. And also, I want to shout out Jasmine Crockett. I love Jasmine Crockett.
Not the little one.
Jasmine Crockett is
the 30th district.
Period. Jasmine Crockett is to be protected by all means, okay? So we need to protect that Black queen, because she's going out and doing the hard job, right? Social media, posting and making videos. A lot of people think that's activism, but what she's doing is actually activism. Okay, pull it up. Look up her stats, look up her degrees, look up what she's saying, talk about her policy, and just pay attention to a Black woman. Y'all didn't pay attention to a Black woman last time, and look what happened. We can talk about that and Put It on the Table. Sunday, October 19th, Miami Vibes, pull up on me.
Okay, you also have a retreat.
Yeah.
I seen the retreat.
But that's closed, baby. The retreat is closed.
Is it closed?
It's closed. We already got our girl.
Squeezing somebody's suitcase.
We're going to Thailand. We're going to Thailand November 30th through December 6th. Listen, me and the girls are going to enjoy a really nice time in Phuket because I think it's time to not only step out the country so that you can relax, right, but also you might want to look for where you're going to live after.
I heard the prices was good over there too.
Hey,
the prices was crazy.
I mean, we can barely afford eggs here.
I can barely afford a pack of gum here. God damn.
Okay.
BC powder went up.
Tylenol causes autism, sister.
That's what they said.
That's what the president said.
Ain't no telling what. You didn't have to drink that water like that. All kinds of stuff, but you know what? I'm glad that they at least trying to change some sort of regulation on the foods that we eat. I just got back from Honduras.
Oh, how was that?
Crazy, beautiful, very humbling experience. Especially just realizing just their way of life and the way that they move around, even how they get their food and stuff. Everything is like they going to the market.
Yep.
The water, they finna go outside and fish the fish right now.
Yeah, well, we want to talk about farming and how our farmers here in the United States are really suffering and really struggling. And so what happens? I don't want to get into that whole conspiracy, but listen. You got GMOs and artificial foods and red dye 30 and
soil health. Soil health is a big thing. And people don't want to talk about it.
We need to talk about it, but you know what? It's like I understand why some people don't, and this is why, right? You're working 40 hours or 60 hours a week. You can barely take care of daycare. You can barely see your family. You're trying to feed your family. Right. A lot of people, 350,000 Black women lost their jobs. Lost their jobs. People are unemployed. People are going crazy and just trying to keep it all together.
Right.
So sometimes you do got to unplug, and maybe you do got to watch that crazy dancing video or them cat videos to keep yourself from not going crazy. But I would just encourage everybody to when you plug back in, please pay attention.
Yeah.
Please pay attention to what's going on.
Be mindful of what you consume, man. We're going to pull up this Sunday.
This Sunday,
to
October 19th.
Celebrate you, Queen. I'm so proud of you.
I'm a Libra.
Girl got reposted by Cardi B.
Cardi B posted it. It's
looking like it's your season.
This might be it's Libra season. It's the best season. Yeah. So Cardi B did go ahead and the Queen reposted, so you can't tell me nothing for at least a week. Okay, October 19th, pull up to Miami Vibes, y'all. It's gonna be a whole vibe.
If people want to come and get details, so they can get do we need tickets to get in? We want to reserve a table.
Yeah, well, you can pay at the door, but I would just listen. Tickets are limited. Okay, so go to my Instagram, Keita Rose _ Go to my Instagram, click on my Eventbrite. You can go to Eventbrite. It's Libra season. It's called Put It on the Table. It's a dinner party podcast. Yeah. I know what you're thinking. What's that? Come and find out, baby.
Pop out. Keita Rose in the building, baby.
Come and find out. Yeah.
Put it on the table.
Put it on the table.